Hey everyone, I'm Norn Queen Alexis, and welcome back to the Queen's Court. In the last episode, Aristide got into some pickle with his family, so the party decided to split up, with the NPCs heading towards Desolium, and. sorry, I'm sorry, that was rude. The warband heading to a. Oh, gosh.
Jovan.
Jovan, and Polonia and Aristide, the loving couple, heading out to. Well,
Terminus Prime.
you know what, Victor? You're better at this. Go ahead.
You don't say. Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. I am Vicky the GM, and welcome back to the Queen's Court. When we last left our heroes, after saying her. Wait, hold a minute. Oh, my bad. After saying her farewells to Saint Thea, Rosalina made her way back to the landing pad and took off with her warband and Volric. Back on board the Oath Unspoken, the team settled back into their normal routines, checking in on friends and preparing for a supposed journey back to Desolium. However, the ship's one of two astropaths intercepted Rosalina and handed her a message from Inquisitor Hunt, which, after some deciphering with Tarvok's aid, was a summons to the administratum-held world of Jovan. Meanwhile, Thalia returned to her fiancé's chambers after a long day of reviewing medical files, only to find the captain of the Oath Unspoken and future husband pacing the room like a caged felid. After Aristide had taken his frustration out on the glassware, he explained to Thalia that his prodigal uncle had made a claim for leadership of the Ensifor dynasty. The warband, along with Aristide, met on the bridge of the Oath Unspoken to discuss how to tackle this conundrum, and after a grave discussion, Rosalina decided to split up her resources to cover more ground and resolve more issues. And so it was decided that Rosalina, Tarvok Morano, Albri, and Volric would head to Jovan to answer Hunt's summons, while Thalia and Aristide would go to Terminus Prime to dispute the claim made for Aristide power, and all the meanwhile, Larician would travel to Desolium with Amma and Harold to take care of whatever trouble was brewing in the Underhive. After some time traveling the Sea of Souls, the Oath Unspoken arrives in the Jovan system and settles in high orbit. Now, uh, from last session to this one, uh, things happened over Osuar before you left, in as much as Larician and Amma left the Oath Unspoken and took some intersector transport to head back to Desolium in order to resolve whatever is going on there. And other than that, I don't think. Well, other than normal stuff that happens while you warp travel, I don't think much else has happened. So I'm gonna close this real quick. So once again, the warband, Aristide, and Thalia are all gathered in the secret aft hangar that you've uh, become so familiar with. And, well, Aristide and Thalia are simply here to say their farewells until all of you meet again.
Thalia, be safe and keep a close eye on events.
You know how I have a keen eye for things.
Even
I
s-
don't.
oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
Even still, I want you to take running with you, and I'm gonna order my servo skull to come over to you. Let him record all of the events that are going on.
Understood. You could use this later, right?
Yes.
I understand.
Out of character, real quick. Kitty!
You
Oh,
don't.
did you hear him?
I heard him.
I've got boxes. He's playing with them.
Alright.
Tarvok will kind of walk over and set himself down in front of Aristide and Polonia, holding out his hand to accept Polonia's and say, looking to the two and say, the intricacies of rogue trader politics are not something I would wish upon anyone. But you both have good wits about yourselves. You have the power, the political savvy, and the assets to come out on top. Just be careful and don't drink the first cup served to you.
It's good to keep that in mind. You're right. I will definitely be very careful about what I eat and drink.
Your advice is well taken, Archfabricator. We will make sure, and in turn, may the Emperor and Omnissiah guide your steps.
With that, he kind of cocks his pistols and slides them into his holster.
Emperor provides indeed.
Athalia, thank you again for letting me take your Black Star.
Use it for as long as you need. I mean, it gets more use with you than it did with me.
Oh, and keep your pistol handy. You never know when something might break out.
I will reach down and pat the holster that is currently holding the plasma pistol you gave me and nod. I didn't really intend to go anywhere without it.
Good. Tarvok, are you ready to go?
Just one thing before we leave. And he starts like looking around the Black Star, just giving it a good once over and making sure that proper maintenance was performed.
Roll tech use. Yes. In fact, it seems that the Corvus Black Star has been put up to prime condition once again by the hangar servitors.
He looks to Rosalina and says, "By your orders, Rosalina, we are ready to begin our journey. Corvus Black Star is operating at 100% efficiency."
Good. Let's get going. And with that, Rosalina turns with one of her servo skulls and Riza by her side and begins to board the craft. An Aristide.
Oh, go ahead.
An Aristide. I'm waiting for a reply.
He looks up and says, "Yes."
Don't lose this ship.
Over my dead body, though he makes the sign of the Aquila as soon as he says that.
And then I'm going to board the vessel.
As the warband boards, Morino is the last to head up the boarding ramp. Aristide speaks up and says, "Morino."
Yeah.
In slightly jilted Eldari speak, Aristide attempts to say Cain's wrath.
I'll giggle at him and return it with a makeshift half Aquila.
You see him grin slightly at this before nodding his head and turning back to Thalia.
Morno will slip back onto the ship.
And with that, Thalia and Aristide make their way out of the hangar before the integrity field is dropped and the gravity suspensor plates. There we go. I was blanking on the 40K nomenclature for anti-gravity. And the suspensor plates are disengaged, and the Corvus Black Star sets off. Rosalina is actually going to be
Piloting.
piloting this time because you're running low on pilots.
Hey, I'm a good pilot.
Are you though? Roll aeronautica for me, please, to see how good you are.
How's that shoe taste, Victor?
I don't know. I don't get humiliated out of character because I don't exist.
Man,
Besides,
those words must taste real good.
I mean, can bread get humiliated? Thought not.
get needed then.
So, as the Corvus Blackstar descends down into the atmosphere of Jovan, you find yourself on the night side as darkness envelops this side of the world. And Rosalina receives her access her access query. She sends back the request coordinates, and a landing pad is and landing pad coordinates are sent to you. Oh damn!
Okay.
That's really good. So, as the Corvus Blackstar lands on the surface of Jovan, you find yourself in a sprawling city of sorts, though it is strangely lacking in foot traffic as you look about.
Black Star coming in for landing.
I'm gonna cover myself in some garb to cover my face and stuff.
Hey,
Go ahead.
no, by all means.
I insist.
Very well. A whirring is heard from Tarvok as one of his claws grabs a book from his bookcase and he flips through it to see what he can find on Jovan, even if it's just basic, like standard Imperium world information.
Well, funnily enough, they're seeing how Jovan is, well, kind of created by me. What would you like to know about it, just in general? Because
It's
I would
type
have
code.
tithe code.
Mhm.
Let me actually find the. Oh god, I have tithe grade bookmarked. This is bad. Here we go. It is Solutio Prima, one of the lowest. Actually, it is one of the third lowest, without the third lowest of anything that gives. So, what gives?
Though that's my second question. What does it give and its general population based on its most recent census?
What it gives is trained adepts and scribes that it sends out to other parts of, say, the Munitorum
Oh,
or the Administratum.
so it's a Scala planet.
Yes, well, not so much. It mostly sent. Its tithe can be, seeing how it's a world that's supposed to keep things and not send things away. All it can send is the experience its adepts earn in the data vaults.
Did I ever get a reply on the landing pad?
You got the usual. Well, on the landing pad,
Yeah.
as in someone who replied to come and meet you.
Like, as I'm coming in to land the craft on the landing pad. Did anybody reply?
Yes, you got the. You got a. Yes, the usual robotic reply of a servitor.
Okay. I'm gonna close off the comms really quickly, and as we're landing, I'm just gonna say, Tarvok, what do we know?
Kind of taking the cigar out of his mouth, he looks at you and says, "Well, it seems to be a world consistent of many data vaults. I don't have much but the basics, but it seems its only product is experienced scribes and things of that nature, administrative and perhaps even archaeologists at best."
Very well. Marno, did you get the disguise kit that I handed you?
The what?
A,
So I was out here.
a disguise kit.
I'm going to look at you from behind the like robes and stuff and nod at. I was gonna say I was gonna give you a thumbs up, but then I was like, she probably doesn't know that gesture.
I'm assuming I gave her essentially a head wrapping and like something to like a respirator for her face.
I assume like respirator, wrappings over the face, robe.
I'm just gonna put a disguise kit in your
A
inventory.
space burqa.
God damn. All right, you have a disguise kit in your inventory now. Who actually does anyone seeing how Moreno doesn't have deceive? Does anyone actually want to make the disguise
Yeah, I will.
check for her? All right, so do it with a +20 for the disguise kit.
It ain't me.
Oh. Actually, no. That's not how it's supposed to work, because how it works is that the GM takes the target, rolls in secret, and then anyone who wants to test against what he rolled, that's how that works. So I will roll D100. Would you like to fate point that?
Yeah, I will. I'm down to 2 already. Oh my god.
No, don't roll that.
Oh, what am I rolling?
You're not rolling anything. I'm rolling.
Oh, okay.
Okay, here we go. I need a counter for this, so this is that much +1. Okay, there's a hefty roll. All right, good. So, with Morino fully wrapped up, she should fit right in, as she has a imperial robe over her figure, which looks bulky enough to hide her true lithe figure.
Morno, if anybody asks, you're simply a pilgrim that's traveling with us.
I figured it would be better if I was mute as much as possible.
That works too.
Of course, I'll let you know via the microbead if I notice anything.
Perfect.
And in that case, I can just assume my old position as a Lex mechanic from Research Station Thaddeus.
Of course. Now, let's get moving.
Though you better hope that no actual Mechanicus personage stop you, because they would not believe that for a second.
Well, if there's one thing I've learned about Queen's Court is that Mechanicus people don't exist.
Ha.
Alright, that's good.
You say that, but you met one on the last planet.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, I'm gonna trigger the activation rune for the back hatch to let down. And I'm gonna look to see if there's any deckhands or anything on the landing pad.
No. Seems to be none. However, there are servitors that do show up, but seeing how as they approach the ship, you can see them going over the Corvus Blackstar with their scanning laser mounted into their bionic eyes, and they simply stop on the edge of the landing pad when Tarvik is able to presume that they have nothing to do.
I'm gonna hit the alarm for the Carver's Black Star so no one breaks into it. Activate the ruin to put the ramp back up. Have Riza and my servo skull next to me. Look
Your
to
remaining
them.
servo skull, yes.
Yep. Look to them, and I'm gonna look over to Tarvok really quickly on the microbead and just go, Tarvok, you have your rats, correct?
I have 3, yes.
Keep one at the Black Star.
Deployed.
Squeak, squeak, squeak.
Yes.
And with that, I'm gonna start going. And
Council's command.
And I'm gonna ask Tarvok, I'm just gonna be like, Tarvok, do we have a destination?
They did say Data Vault 13B, right, in the note?
Indeed, they do. With your Scholastic Lore check that you rolled earlier, you do have a basic map of the planet's surface and which way the data vaults have been organized. And it seems that, well, God Emperor willing, you have been sent fairly close to the Hall of Records, where the data where a good chunk of the data vaults are.
Now, call it paranoia, but I'm gonna check my multi compass for and my, for just information regarding the planets. Like, is the air breathable? Fine. Gravity's fine. No air that's gonna make half the party hot.
Roll for me a navigate surface with a +20 because you have the multi compass.
I'd still fail.
That's operate surface.
Oh, whoops.
Thank God half of this stuff is rolled off intelligence.
Yep, it's pretty great. So,
I think we go this way.
Rosalina attempts to drive the ground.
No, that's navigate this time.
Oh, you actually almost made it.
I mean, she can drive the Tarvok.
So, as Rosalina points in the southwards direction and almost starts walking, Tarvok is able to extend a macadendrite and slightly turn her eastwards, where a large, ominous structure made of black granite stands before you, its mighty doors looming large.
Well, it is black granite, right?
Yes,
Like,
it's not Blackstone.
Okay, just checking. I'm looking out for my
Yes.
suckers.
Yeah, I mean, paranoia and all that, but that's just crazy.
Look, I've seen some crazy in my life.
All right. So, as the warband approaches the Hall of Records, you can see that the large, ominous doors that have been set into the building, almost large enough to emit the smallest titans, you can see at the base of this door that it is much more of an intimidation tactic than anything else, since there is a smaller set of double doors down at the base of each larger, and and they seem to be unlocked, both of them, even open.
I'll whisper over to Rosalina that it's quite an intimidating structure. What is it for?
Storing intelligence that we've gathered over the millennia.
It seems so showy for that.
Yeah, that's the architecture of the Imperium, all right.
Doesn't do small.
And
We've seen any. Sorry.
with that, I'm going to be like, Tarvok, who's the last person to access this panel? And I'm going to point over to its activation rune for the door.
Victor, can I do some technological?
To answer the question, if you had actually seen anyone so far, you've seen plenty of servo skulls whirring about and servitors dragging carts laden with scrolls and data slate. But on the surface, it doesn't seem to. It seems that people, well, either they've gone to sleep or, well, there's just less foot traffic of standard humans.
Yeah, I was gonna ask. Like, while we're walking, can I just scan the area for? Now hear me on this: scratches, holes in the wall about the size of a bullet.
Oh, you want to know if there's been commotion around here recently? Conflict? No, this does not seem to be that. Without even needing a test.
Fair enough. Is there any sigil on this place that ranks it as 13B?
Currently, you don't see any signifiers that would lead you down in such a way. However, you reckon that yes, you reckon, as
I
in
reckon.
reckoning, as in I'll reckon your face. Hey.
Stop it.
You reckon that more information might be gathered from inside the ominous structure of the administratum.
We are going to have to do so much paperwork for this, and I will. I use the activation rune to open the door.
Well, you're not even gonna see if you can test if anybody used it prior?
He kind of, I guess he implied that I couldn't.
No, I just never got to that.
Oh,
You can, yes, you can roll a security test. Well,
security.
the roll is valid. The roll is valid. So, as Tarvok accesses the activation rune panel, the runic panel, I should rather say, he finds that the last individual to access the panel was in fact a servitor, a XO404.
Alright, that's useful. At least we know that it wasn't a human that entered here.
Yes.
And with that, I'm gonna hit the activation rune myself and open the door.
Indeed. Before you're able to open the door asks for identification.
Tarvak, do you wish to give yours?
And with that, I will. Is there any way I can? Would it recognize an oath cog?
No, but what it will recognize is your rod of office, since it has a built-in noospheric emitter.
It does, and I will hold my rod of office up to the scanner.
Indeed, with a quick noospheric blurt, the activation, the runic panel turns green, and the light a red light coming from inside a skull's eye cavity turns green as the doors hiss open.
Tarvak, I don't trust this.
I don't either.
Marno, stay close.
Didn't we come here on behalf of your master?
He didn't give us any... He didn't tell us anything, so... My innate paranoia is kicking in.
I'll stay on alert.
Actually, with that, I'm gonna let out my Sinisians. That is parry, that is not Sinisians.
As Rosalina extends her psychic sense to the near environment, she is only able to sense the void that is Volric standing behind her.
Damn it, Blank.
Hey, it's not my fault you let out your senses. I'm standing right here. You can just look at me.
Rosalie, if I may.
Yes, go ahead.
He holds out his hand, and crawling from his robe is another one of his rats. I could send that in real quick to see if there's anything we need to know about silver to kill rooms or any kind of trap.
I don't think our master would beckon us here to kill us.
No, but he might have beckoned. He might himself be in trouble.
Fair point. Go ahead.
And with that, he will let his rat through the door first and close his biological eye to get a full perception of the rat's location.
As your scout vermin runs in on its tiny 4 feet, you can see through its bionic eye that inside, behind these doors, is a huge antechamber made even larger looking from the vantage point of your scout vermin. However, it seems that on the far end of the antechamber, you can see a colossal desk with a single figure sat in the center of it. It seems to be around all around it there is a swirling swarm of servo skulls, and isn't uh, alliteration fun?
Does the figure hold some resemblance to anyone we know?
No, no one you can. You've never seen this person before. It seems to be a woman of in her getting on in years, though it is difficult to tell if Rejuvenat was involved or not, delayed or not.
Just a single woman, Tarvok?
Single woman, unknown identification. Is she wearing like scribe robes, or like what is she like? Is she wearing like the vestiges of a scribe, of a mechanicus?
It is difficult to tell since further in the scout vermin moves, the more obscurity becomes at her colossal desk, which is, even from the scout vermin's point of view, reaching quite a few yards into the air. Yeah, let's go with yards. I don't even know how big that is, but
3
let's
It's
say
feet.
like a meter.
close enough.
Okay,
Uh,
let's go in.
last question. Uh, before we move in, my last question is: did the server skulls look armed at all?
No, they seem to be carrying either data slates or scroll, and she seems to be as soon as the one servo skull comes in to hand something in, the woman seems to absent-mindedly hand it something else as it floats off.
All right, and then with that, Tarvok will open the door for the for the interrogator.
Alright. I'm gonna walk in, and on my person right now, I have my sword lioness, my inferno pistol on my side, and I have the bolter strapped to my back, where my meltagun used to be.
Canoness Lioness, former bolter.
Yep. Which is now a combi melta.
Oh. All right. So, striding in with great purpose and zeal, interrogator Lockwood sees that the senses of the scout vermin, well, let's just say that the difference between perspective is not all that difference. As she looks up and can see the vaulted arches up high above, swarming with servo skulls and lit lanterns. And, much as Tarvok told you about, you can see the colossal wooden desk at the back of the antechamber, sitting in front of a grand staircase, which half circles around her like a pair of grasping arms.
I'm gonna look at her, and I'm just gonna say, my name is Rosalina Lockwood. Identify yourself.
The woman seems so focused on her work that she barely takes notice of you at first, before she hears your question and says, yes? Oh, as she looks down on you, she rearranges her half-moon spectacles up on the bridge of her nose and says, do you have an appointment?
We have been summoned here. This is Data Vault 13B, correct?
No, you're in the antechamber of the Hall of Records. The data vaults lie deep underneath. You must take the maglev if you wish to find your way to the correct data vault.
Very well. Can you give me directions there?
Yes, where are you needing to go?
13B.
Well,
Yes, but I assume that they're asking what part of 13B.
Well, no, that's the only information you know. No, you have. Actually, you have a name you can give.
What was the name?
A Tattersall. I'll type it in Roll20 chat.
We're looking
Just-
for an A. Tattersall. He directed us to Data Vault 13B. If we could just get down there, we can find our own way.
Oh, that's Albus's domain. Yes, simply go up behind me. You will find the maglev one level down. Can't miss it, really. And from there, you can head down to level 13. Second hall on the right. Can't miss it.
Well, I have another question.
Yes?
I see a sparseness of unaugmented humans. Is that common here?
Oh, oh yes. It is currently the night cycle. Most people are underground at that time, or in the mess hall. I believe they're having another of their bickerings right now.
Hmm. Leave it to the lowly minds to fight, am I correct?
Fighting? No, not exactly. It's more of an intellectual bout.
Oh?
Oh, it's the scribes. They in their what little free time they have, in between eating and sleeping, and well, of course, their most holy work. She makes a quick sign of the quick sign of the Aquila, and says, "They are Well, it's just that what else are scribes going to do than bicker about lore?"
Hmm. That is fair enough. Very well. Thank you for
If
your assistance.
one final piece of advice: if you can't find Albus in his officio, I'm sure he is in the mess hall, competing against the other scribes. The man likes to ramble a lot.
Hmm. Very well. Thank you for your assistance.
Have a good day.
Uh, we didn't catch your name, Miss.
Hold on. I need to come up with a adequate rank for this woman. I'm just gonna make it up on the spot. Uh,
Data Smith.
no, that's definitely not that.
Castle robots come out of nowhere.
Oh no.
That's the point we're at. We have so much XP that we have to fight Castle and Rogue.
Tarbok
You-
would be like straight up mine.
You would not be able to fight Castle and robots.
God,
Those
take
I
things
hit
are
like
s-
the lab cannon.
They
You-
are so.
They
If
hit
you
like
would-
a titan.
These things can bounce your attacks back on an invul save of a 6.
I'm sitting here like Moreno's so cool. Moreno's so rad. Moreno splats herself.
I want one.
What's I'm blanking on the word for what do like important CEOs have in front of their offices? What's that person called?
Secretary?
Secretary.
Perfect. Secretary Adept Kylene at your service.
I'm gonna
Indeed.
nod my head and just say, let's go.
Let's go. Oh, and he looks to the woman while we're kind of walking away. How long does the night cycle generally last on this planet?
Usually it lasts about 18 hours Terran standard. The it's a it is a astron it is an astronomical quirk of Jovan's sun and moon.
Of course.
And yeah, with that, you had passed her up one of the staircases behind her. As you move up, you find yourself heading through another set of large doors. These are just held open by their immense weight. And on the other side, you can see you arrive at a balcony overlooking what appears to be a maglev system with its varying gantries leading to and fro different sections. As Tarvok looks, as Tarvok looks around, he sees a very simple noospheric data link hovering in the air. It seems that the Mechanicus presence on this world is uh, rudimentary at best. However, he is able to tap into the noosphere I mean, you're not on a Forge world. You're gonna have to go look if you want to find tech priests.
Carry on.
I lost my train of thought. Here, oh yeah, maglevs. That's right. The noospheric information that is hovering about here seems to be the various the maglev schedules as they head to their various level, and with slight bits of computation, he is able to identify the maglevs which will be heading downwards the next time. Well, that was unfortunate. Tarvok, can you take the wheel for a bit?
Of course.
As in, Rosalina won't be leading.
I understand.
I
So,
follow behind Tarvok. Sorry to interrupt. I'm sorry.
oh, you're good. So the maglev's down. We're here.
Yes. So you're up. You're a bit up, and if you can head down a few gantries and some stairs, you can reach where you need to go.
All right. Well, I'm going to, while we're walking, I'm just going to be flipping through the different, like thermal vision, EMP, etc., etc.,
Right.
to see if there's anything of note.
Okay,
All
sorry
right.
about that.
Alrighty. Roll for me an awareness test. Yeah. So, as Tarvok, as you look around, you can see. I'm honestly not sure what to tell you, since, well, mostly it's what you see is what you get. You can tell that the atmosphere in this place seems to be slightly chilled, and there's a hint of a frosting of breaths, at least for those who still have hot breaths.
Is there any noises coming from the area?
Noises other than the whir of condutators and the hiss of anti-grav motors as servo skulls move about.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, the maglevs screeching to a halt.
Of course. So just a quick thing, Alexis. We just we got off the elevator and went down a few corridors.
Okay.
So, actually, the maglev is more of like, it's more of a train than anything else.
I'm actually going to look at Marno really quickly and say, do your people have anything like this?
We do. It's not quite the same. It's, well, I would say much easier to navigate.
Interesting.
Out of character, are you thinking of the Infinity Circuit?
No, that wouldn't quite be appropriate because that's where they store souls. I was more thinking of like enclaves where like people on the path of the whatever would be. Path of the librarian, path of the scribe, or something similar.
Well, there's also the Black Library, but hey, I doubt she's been there.
Right, I doubt she's been there, but I'm sure they have some sort of thing like that, and I'm sure that it's psychically activated too, which probably honestly does make it much easier.
Yeah, psychic papers sure sounds easy to handle.
Right, and then I know from reading Eldar books that they have a psychic connection to the craft world that lets them navigate things quite easily.
Yeah, that sounds pretty sweet. So, as the four of you, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, no, 6 if you count Riza. 5, yeah.
And Theta 1.
Does he really count? I mean, if Riza counts, then yes.
Well, okay, look. Riza's not a servitor.
She's a cherub.
I was more pushing for the fact that Theta 1 is kind of my only friend.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
I've come to beep at you again.
Look, that man carried a mortar for me once.
So, the 7 of you, there we go. Are we counting servo skulls now?
No.
We're counting rats.
Oh my god, there's a lot of us.
There's a lot of individuals here, be they
mostly
lobotomized.
NPCs.
Yeah, lobotomized or not.
There's only one that's a lobotomized.
That is
One,
true.
2, 3.
The rats are lobotomized.
Aren't
Wait.
they?
Who's the third?
There's Riza.
Riza's not
Starbucks server.
lobotomized.
She had a brain disease that ate most of her brain.
Yeah, it doesn't make her lobotomized.
Yeah, it does.
No, it doesn't.
Really, the thing that determines a lobotomy is what part of the brain did they destroy? Because if they scraped the frontal cortex, then that's a lobotomy, and it destroyed her personality.
No, because she still has part of her personality. It's just heavily suppressed.
That can still occur from a lobotomy, although I wouldn't call it suppressed. I'd call it fraction of.
Semantics aside,
Yeah.
man,
Yeah.
man, the character of this world is seeping into people. Just
Question.
a bunch of arguing nerds on this world, and you are no different.
What's Aubrey's reaction to all this? Like, not to the bickering, but to the like the world.
She seems to be taking all of this mostly in stride, though she does stop at a few different intervals just to admire the different tone of architecture from Asuar. The tone being not lacking in divinity and saint statues everywhere. It's more of a muted worship of the emperor.
Fair enough. And I kind of, when she does that, kind of put my rod of office like to her chin and say, "Eyes up front."
Yes, of course. And with that, she starts fiddling with her Narthesium again, making sure that everything's in place. So, with that, as you descend for quite a few minutes down into the depths of the data vaults, you arrive at a platform which opens up into a large hall which leads straight ahead. On each side, you can see massive portals which lead, no doubt, to further subdivisions of level 13.
Now, how do we go about finding a man who doesn't want to be found?
We could let him find us.
That is true. I have a feeling he already knows we're here. He's good at that.
That does make our task easier.
But he has a... He makes simple errors. It's how I found him on my world.
I mean, it really doesn't matter who finds who. You trust the man.
Trust is a hard word with me.
Quick out of character, there's a slight rainstorm going on in my background, so just letting you know. Ambience. Except it's the completely wrong ambience, so eh.
I will say it's the
Victor, can I tap into my Vox relay and just kind of put out a ping to see what kind of pops up?
Sure.
Do I need to roll anything for that, or?
No, not here. It's easy. It's easy enough, and you're not under any pressure that you can just see what you can find.
He looks to Rosalina before he does it. Rosalina, with your permission, I'm going to put out a Vox ping to see what communication devices are in the area.
Go ahead.
Charging, recalculating, reaffirming, update complete.
Reconsecrating.
Reconsecrating.
Would you like to purchase this version now? Or continue using the free trial?
Talbot to the EXE has stopped responding. Would you like to send an error report? And then the ping goes off.
Bing. So, as Tarvok is able to, as he accesses his Vox relay, he flips through a few channels, most of which are just binary chatter between servitors as they send messages across the noosphere. However, one of the frequencies seems to be in use, and it doesn't make sense what he and he does. Tarwak is unable to make sense of what he is hearing. What he hears is can best be described as a bunch of human-throated voices arguing and shouting over each other.
Oh
Ah,
no.
it's the Warhammer 40k lore community.
Yes.
Question: can I do a logic test to see if any of them are even correct?
Roll logic minus 60.
Oh, minus 60. Wait, can I insta? I can insta pass that, but no, I'm not going to. I'm not
Yeah,
going to use a fate point.
don't spend the fate point on that. What's your normal bonus? No, you wait. Hold on. Oh, that was Alexis. What is your? You get normally you get bonuses, right, to logic.
I get a plus 40.
Wait, plus 20 from your cranial thing. No, wait.
And it's the logic. No, hold on. I got
It's the calculus low G gives you plus 20, I think. And then your best quality. Why am I blanking on this? It should be.
Are we really rolling to see a bunch of Warhammer 40k nerds argue?
I mean,
I'll tell you the answer. It all goes back to the outsider.
Oh my god.
Wait, Victor, I think it's one of my talents, like Archivator or something like that.
No. I'm thinking of like 2 specific augments which do it.
Ground plants?
No, let me show you gear. It's the calculus low G is the one giving you plus 20, and then it's your cranial. Yeah, it's the cranial implant. That's giving you another one. Let me actually. I'm gonna really quickly check the bonuses on those things because
No, we already have it written down.
Oh, you have it? Where?
My traits.
Oh, your traits. Let me see.
They're there for sake of remembering.
Oh, right. Plus 40 to logic and lore. Right. Okay. So he. So
it's not important. Like the gag is dead.
Well.
Victor tried to explain a joke too long.
Well, that's the thing. Wouldn't that happen on this world?
Yes, this world would be full of very socially incompetent nerds.
Well, actually, the one thing I do want to listen for, are they discussing lore that classifies as something they shouldn't be talking about? That let's kind of bring it.
So, the argument that is currently being had seems to be regarding the successor of Warmaster Slato in the Sabbath Crusades, Warmaster Macarius, I think is not Macarius.
Yeah, Macarius is the right one.
It's Makaroth. Makaroth is the right one. You're thinking of Lord Solar. My God, you're actually hearing. This is some of the stuff you're hearing in the Vox relay.
Oh my God! It's the argument me and Victor had at the airport.
Wait,
yeah, pretty much.
Now, Victor, I'm about to bring this whole planet down to its knees. Through the Vox channel, I'm going to say the word zygote.
God damn it. No, you're not.
Feudalism and zygotes, let's go. I'm so sorry, I'm derailing this. Let's get back to the serious roleplay.
No. This is the world infecting you now. You'll never be able to leave. You will be stuck here arguing lore for the rest of eternity.
Oh God, it's my relationship with Victor all over again.
Right.
Meanwhile, back on where Terminus Prime and Desolium, where people are actually doing things.
Meanwhile,
they're also arguing.
You say that. However, meanwhile, back on the Oath Unspoken, the where Aristide has broken high orbit and is heading back towards the Mandeville Point to make way to Terminus Prime, Thalia is in Aristide's, their chamber now. the quote-unquote captain's chamber, and she is having some thoughts of her own as to how to deal with the situation.
Am I alone?
Yes, you are.
Okay, so I'll think to myself. Are you implying that I would be thinking of some
Solution?
extra dimensional solutions?
Well, yeah, seeing how this was your idea.
Okay, I'm sorry, I'm just checking. But yes, I will proceed over to, well, I guess Tarvok wouldn't be in his area.
No. Tarvok is currently not in the archive, seeing how he's being left on planet.
Do I have access to the archive?
Well, that depends. Do warband members have access to the archive, Tarvok?
Hold on.
Actually, I do hope that some people do have access to it, because otherwise that would be very...
Yeah, they would. Like Rose, like the people who would have the actual access to the archives when he's not there is part warband members, the captain, and of course Bologna.
I do hope his seneschal also has access.
Well, if he has it, he can give it to the damn Seneschal. Trying to touch my stuff.
Well, it's more that you took over their archives. And
Well, they should have defended it better.
Well, that's what feudalism gets you.
Yeah, I mean, they can try to take it from my cold, dead, multiple arms.
All right, so with that out of the way, yes, Thalia does indeed have access to the archives.
I will access the archives, and I assume Tarvok also told me how and where and all the things he did to, contain Candle.
I'm pretty sure he did. I actually forget this. I may have been AFK when...
I'm just checking with John. You would have, right?
Yes, you would have had. It would be under his recap, the stand where the recap machine is. There's a false panel which contains the safe, and inside the safe is a box that has two locks that require two different keys, which he has given you a copy of.
Okie dokie. So I will do this, and I will obtain Candle, and I will go to a secluded area hidden within the archives, and I shall consult him.
As you stare into the candle flame, the world becomes tunnel visioned, and I require you to roll a willpower test.
I need to switch characters.
Oh yeah, you still have... I still left Polonia in... Oh wait, she's aboard the ship now. That's right.
Yeah, she's under Rogue Trader, and I passed the willpower.
Well done, well done. No corruption for you yet.
The truth doesn't corrupt me; it sets me free.
Oh well. As you look into the flame, you get a feeling of helpfulness.
I'm not going to communicate vocally to it. I'm gonna actually telepathic link.
Oh boy. Here we go.
Just Riley, talking demons. Nothing new.
This is nothing. There's nothing to see here. Don't worry. Nothing wrong here. Good Inquisition. But I am going to communicate to Candle and say, or I'm going to I'm going to explain to Candle telepathically and efficiently of the way the current situation affecting the dynasty.
When you do, you can feel a heat on your chin, as though a sun was shining unobstructed upon it, but there is no such light in here. And does Polonia have jaded?
Let me double check, 'cause I haven't played her in a while. Oh, I'm gonna read this a couple more times and hope that it appears. Because no, she does not.
Does she have insanity enough to resist this?
Let me check.
What is her insanity?
43.
43. Yeah, she has plenty of insanity. This was going to be, well, this was going to be spookums, but nothing else. So she is insane enough. So as she explains the situation and asks for Kendall's help, you hear a loud thunk coming from the other side of the room.
I'm going to turn around, alerted, pistol drawn.
As you scan the room, plasma pistol aimed into every corner to see what the source of the sound was, your eyes are drawn to the floor, and you can see a large dusty tome lying there, its pages open.
I'm going to take a few steps forward, continuing to scan the room. I'm even gonna make a perception check, even though, well, here's my old philosophy biting me in the butt. Or maybe not.
Oh, you mean of not wanting to buy more awareness?
Awareness is totally worthless and useless skill, as I have just demonstrated.
Have you, though? You have a point in it.
Point is, I approach the book, and I have the plasma pistol drawn. Do I notice anything as I approach it? And then once I get to the book, assuming I don't notice anything, what do I see in the book?
So, as you look around, you see a figure. You see the outline of a figure in the shadows, but as you walk past it, you can see it is not only a figure; it is three separate figures. As you recognize the wrecked form of Somnius Halbrel and his Somnilacra all around him. They have an eerie, twisted look on their face, but you've known that these things have been dead for quite some time. Though why Tarvok keeps the damn things here, you're still not sure.
Okay, so it's the Somnilacras that Tarvok had. Are they moving?
They are not moving, but by the candlelight, it is eerie the way that their faces have been twisted into deathly grins.
Okay, but none of them have moved or anything. Like they're just dead and hung there. Sorry to keep checking this, but it's spooky.
I mean, yeah, they are spooky to have just highly augmentized humanoids just hanging off the walls. However, as you are 100% sure that those damn things aren't moving, triple checking in fact, your eyes are once again drawn down towards the book, and you can see that it appears to be a book of legal codes regarding the Ansifor dynasty.
Now that I did not expect. I guess Thalia would probably also think that in character, and I still have the link. But I will lean down and I will start reading the page that the book is, because you said the book is open.
Yes, it is open, and it seems to have opened on a specific page. And as Thalia is busying herself reading through this, with reading the book next to the candlelight, we hop back. So, as Tarvok is busying himself deciphering the mess that is the frequency he is plopped into, you realize that this is not actually this is not a two-way communications channel. It is closer to a Vox broadcast.
This planet is weird. Tarvok begins to hold his biological side of his head as he begins to get a castrating headache.
Indeed, holy crap.
He actually has to switch it off as nothing of value can be gained from it, wishing to quickly return to the silence of the labyrinth. But no, there was no microbeads in this area besides ours. Correct?
Yes, that is correct. However, Morino, with your unnatural perception, you may roll for me an awareness test based on hearing. Oh,
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know why that didn't register. I think it was because I was still thinking.
probably because I said Morino and you're in Thalia's head.
Right. But it was awareness, and what was the bonus?
Plus 10. Don't hear it.
Oh. Do I use my single fate point?
I got this.
Okay.
No.
I don't think I do. I'm not gonna do it.
No. Tarwak, if you want to give it a try without the auspex.
Well, let me tell you about all the crap I've shoved into my head these last few sessions.
Awareness is like the most useless skill anyway.
So what's the modifier, like, base?
Base plus 10.
I think I got it.
Although that final modifier can only be a
Oh, wait.
plus 30.
It was...
No,
Oh,
wait, no,
no,
it's
I
not.
don't get the plus 10.
No, my bad. It should be plus 10. Oh, the final modifier should only be 50. My bad. I was looking at the wrong.
Well, I think I still got it.
Yes, you do indeed. Your target was
Auto-senses.
94. Oh, wait, no, 84. No, 104. Yeah, auto senses.
Auto-senses, optical mechadendrites. The works.
The works. All right.
Bionic Eye.
I don't think the optical mechadendrite and bionic eye stack, but I'm not sure about that. Not either way, you still make it. So, Tarvok, as soon as you can feel your head, as soon as you start feeling your internal cogitator starting to struggle deciphering all the nonsense that is happening on that Vox link, you cut the link, but it seems as though you can hear almost an echo of the argument coming from within the hall before realizing that you're actually hearing it with your own
Orifices.
not the word I was going for, but we'll use it.
And can I trace it?
You could, if you were to follow the sound.
At this point, Tarvok will put up a hand sign, of Sister's hand sign, and says to Rosalina, permission to take point.
And I'm just gonna nod to you.
Sorry to interrupt, but did you ever teach Morino those hand signals?
Basic. Like, extremely basic versions of them.
Like
Okay.
stop, move, follow me.
But she can't, like, carry on a conversation.
Yeah, she won't be able to do a conversation.
She would have to buy that specifically.
And Tarvok's got hand signs for days.
For days.
Yeah, but then at this point, I would say quietly, but that doesn't exist in his vocabulary. But we'll begin to trace the sound.
All right.
Tarvok,
As you
what
walk...
is it?
Oh, go ahead.
I'm detecting sounds coming from farther down the corridors that are emulating the same ones I felt on the Vox channel. I'm chasing a Vox lead. At this point, he is gonna reach for one of his pistols, and just have them like not like drawn out, like pointed out, but just like the holsters are unclipped.
Rosalina's gonna nod and reach towards her Inferno pistol.
And we will follow the noise. Follow your
Follow you.
nose.
I will draw a long lance. Oh wait, I'm sorry, Eldar long rifle.
Would that thing stand out a bit?
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm only
Sure,
I'll
it
just
can-
have the shuriken pistol under the robe.
Thank you.
FBI, open up.
Give me liberty or give me death.
This place will oblige by death.
Yeah.
Oh.
They will step on Snake and be
Yeah.
okay with it.
Yeah. Besides, you already left behind your character who stepped on Snack.
True.
I'm never gonna let you live those Slith deaths down.
I mean, you do what you gotta do to get the job done.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh well. As Tarvok triangulates the noise coming from deep within the hall, you arrive finally at a unassuming plasteel door with a simple runic keypad set to the side, and coming from behind the door, you can hear the argument now plain as day, although it is muted, as you can as you can also start hearing some some impact noises happening as well.
What kind of impact noises?
Mostly shattering of plates and dinnerware.
FBI, open up. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. And I will hand sign to Rosalina, pointing to the keypad, like doing a knocking gesture towards the door or holding up his axe.
I'm just gonna wave no and then say, enter as though normal. We're not here to fight.
And at this, so I will knock on the door then.
Boom, boom, boom.
FBI, open up!
Keep saying that, and it keeps making me want to freak out.
Okay, here. To avoid issues, I'll say, KGB, open up.
God damn it, that makes it worse.
Omnifire, open up. I got pizza.
Inquisition, open up!
Oh shit, that's the worst one. Language, my bad.
Yes. But yes,
So,
I will.
As you knock on the door, there's no change.
I will hack open. I will not hack open, but I will. Can I use the data pad to open it up?
Yes, you can attempt to open it with the data pad.
Security.
Yes.
Oof.
Fate point?
Yeah.
Hang on, do I actually have security? No, I don't.
No. So, as Tarvok quickly tests a number of he tests a bunch of numerical combinations before attempting with a slight hesitation 1 1 1
No,
1.
Victor. Here's how he actually does it. He switches his bionic eye to thermal vision to see which has the most presses on it, and tries the combination of those numbers.
You would actually switch over to microscopic to see which one
Even
has the most sweat on it.
Gross.
Yeah, I know.
Check for salt. There's probably a lot of salt.
On this planet, probably.
Yes, the sodium levels are off the chart.
It's turning
No
the
wonder my
frogs
blood
gay.
No wonder my blood pressure's so high today. But yes, I will open the door.
So,
the door opened to an 8-foot tall mecha man.
as you hear a bunch of angry men and women shouting and arguing amongst each other.
I shut the fucking door.
The noise seems to continue, but it is muffled again from behind the door.
Wait, did we actually see the people in there?
You did see people in there, but it seemed to be a lot of shouting and arguing. But you close the door again, so they keep going.
And then I looked to Rosalina with a face of like arid concern.
Tarvok, we have to go in.
Rosalina, actually, here, I will give you a visual representation of Tarvok's face.
All right, I have to check this.
That I'm gonna say that that thing shows up in his bionic eyes, in one of his bionic eye.
But Tarvok will open the door.
The shouting and the screaming now seems to be reaching a fever pitch. Before, actually, does anyone want to try anything?
I'm just gonna look at them and just be like, let's just move through here. We have a person we need to find.
I mean, I could get their attention if you want, so we can find Tatosol as quickly as possible.
I don't think these people will be of any use.
Yes,
Well, how hard could it be to move past them?
Not very.
but didn't the woman say that Tatosol could be among them if he wasn't in the data vault?
We have to check the data vault first.
As you wish. And with this, he will take his axe and kind of use it as like a paddle to just in case we need to move past people.
Right. As you attempt to move around the fringes of the mess hall, you can see that a lot of the tables are now being used to stand on, and no one seems to be in a rush to. God damn it! But that's supposed to be OMG.
No, OME, oh my emperor.
Ah, right. What am I thinking?
Where are you
Could have
posting this?
In Roll20 chat.
Oh. Okay.
As the group attempts to move around the fringes of the quote-unquote skirmish, you can hear someone. You can hear and see someone slamming down a gigantic tome onto one of the table, making a almost gunshot sound as the iron-bound tome hits the table and says, "Enough of this! Once and for all, we're going to find out where Makaroth was located in the Sabbath Crusade." And he unpacks the iron-bound dome in order to go through its ancient pages.
I want to insta-pass it and tell them where, like, kind of before he does, tell them where he was.
No, don't do
Don't
that.
get involved with this. Don't get involved.
Okay.
You're getting dragged in. Their hooks are already in you.
Fine, I won't.
You said you did, so
You deep mother.
you already spent the fate point. Don't say it like that.
I'm just gonna roll my eyes really, really hard at this and just be like...
So, Tarvok, without being... Actually, if you wish to roll a willpower test to resist this, Knight, then you may.
Victor, I hate you so much.
It will be with... I forgot... I was going to say a -10.
Well, then I failed.
Yeah, so... Without being able to help himself, Tarvok blurts out the fact that when War Master Slato died during the Battle of Balhout, it is very much impossible that his successor, War Master Makaroth, was present at his death, as he was hundreds of kilometers away at Balopolis during said time.
And I'm just gonna look at Tarvok and just say, why?
You notice that he's like regretting it immediately as well.
Indeed, and as you do, roughly half of the scribes present all shout and cheer as it seems they have been vindicated in their argument.
Tarvok is feeling various copious amounts of regret.
Indeed, you can see that there are people hugging and shaking hands, and one of them is even crying. But it seems that the argument has been disputed. Resolved, I should say.
Get out of my way.
Ah, The man who held the ironbound tome, a bald man with tufts of wispy white hair on the side and a beard that reaches almost down to his thighs, says, "Good sir, tech priest, might we thank you properly for ending this squabble? We before we move on to the next one."
Of course. And you are.
Ah, I am High Archivist Union. Actually, let me type that
Excuse
out.
me?
Uneon. It's a strange name.
Damn EV evolutions.
All right, out of character, he's Hunt. Probably not, but I suspect he's Hunt.
Well,
that is a strange guess, but hey, I'll take it.
And Tarvok will nod his head. Thank you, Union. It seems if you spend less time debating and more time focusing on the source material, these arguments would be a non-issue.
One of the you notice that from the back, one man shouts up, a youngish looking man, though he has heavy amounts of sleep deprivation lining his face, shouts up and says, "But there is a portrait that shows then Marshal Makaroth standing next to the dying Slado. I'm sure of it."
Well, there's also a portrait of me in a bright shirt on Mordian. It does portraits can be done at any whim without any correlation to actuality.
Roll logic for me.
Is there any logic in this world anymore?
No. No, there's not. All right. So, with that, the let's see. The actually, along so most of the scribes now look towards each other, and they seem to be like hastily discussing, and you can hear a cavalcade of indeeds coming from most everyone.
Oh god, they're all Victor.
Indeed.
Can you tell that I made this world?
Yes,
Yes.
because it's already given me a headache.
Oh, just you wait. Just you wait.
Oh,
Like, are they all eating
Planet
bread?
bread.
Yes,
there are lots of plates with bread on him.
yes, of course. Also, Victor, can I look at that giant, massive ironbound tome?
Yes, you can.
What is it?
It is a history of the Sabbath Worlds Crusade.
He will look to the guy as he kind of places his hands on it and slowly starts sliding it towards him. May I?
Oh, yes, of course.
He will fit it into his bookcase.
Wait, you're stealing his tome.
Actually, when I'm standing here, it's my tome.
Oh,
Mine now.
Look, I need another weapon.
It's true. He has the stats, the weapon profile for an ironbound tome.
Is this dude just letting him just straight up jack his stuff?
Tarwak seems to have asserted his dominance in both the departments of logic and lore.
I am the alpha nerd.
wait, I'm sorry, I forgot. I'm writing notes. What is this planet's name again?
Jovan.
Bread.
Jovan, like Icelandic for bread.
What should actually be?
And I will look to this group and say, I'm looking for has anyone seen Tatasol around? I had some discussions with him about the Lathe world.
Whoa, sorry. That you actually caught me off guard with that. One of the persons shouts up and say, "Oh, you mean that trio of Forge Worlds back in the Calixis sector?"
Hush, boy.
Yes, sir.
Alright, that was
Nice.
pretty funny.
The man who relieved himself of that ironbound tome tells you, Oh, yes. I believe he went back to his officio right before our little bickering broke out. He said something about not wanting to take part in any of this nonsense. But, that's Tattersall for you.
Of course. And he
Tell us more about him.
Well, he's the curator of Data Vault 13B, and he usually hangs to himself. Asks for a whole heap of data slates and scrolls on on the most curious of subjects, but he does good work when he collates them all into a coherent work.
That is all I need from you.
Well, carry on. Although before you leave, Master Tech Priest.
Archfabricator.
Oh, Arch Fabricator. He bows his head and makes the sign of the Aquila. If you ever wish to take part in a bickering, we do give out prizes.
Tarvok starts sweating and looks to Rosalina.
No.
I mean, if we have free time, of course.
Very well.
But for now, we must go find Tattersall. And I guess we start making our way out.
Indeed.
Oh,
You know, it's
but
really funny. I could have spent a fate point there, got everybody to just talk to us, and figured it out immediately, but that was more fun.
Yes.
Yeah, true.
Oh, and as we leave, like as we kind of go past the door, Tarvok will turn around and yell out the word zygotes before leaving.
And as soon as you do, you can hear a whole new bickering break out as as one half of the room starts arguing that Astartes don't make sense, and the other says it totally does.
No, just say female Astartes. I've seen it.
Actually, yes. I do have lore for Adeptus Astartes.
But do you have forbidden lore?
I have forbidden lore, the Horse Heresy.
That is true.
You're just lying. Just roll a deceive.
Oh god, not to deceive.
Hang on, I got this.
I should know.
I whispered to one of them really quickly. Have you ever seen a female space marine? I did.
And then leave.
And then
no.
leave.
Oh no. The bickering is brought to new heights as plates start flying again. Thank goodness they're made of metal.
Oh god, the poor people getting hit by those.
Pretty much. But you started it, so ha.
Worth it.
So,
Worth it. We have brought down this planet's infrastructure.
I want to
indeed.
start talking to them about the deceiver, but I think we'll get us for Heresy.
Like,
Yeah.
like I posted in Queen's Court chat. I posted a picture of Tarvok right now.
Oh, that's funny. So, as you make your way through the hall, you finally arrive at what must be Data Vault 13B. It is quite massive as you look down, and one level below, you can see what is tantamount to shipping container armored Munitorum crate sized bookshelves that are being lowered and lowered into place and then heaved away when they are no longer needed. You can see servitors, servo skulls, and administratum adepts scurrying about as they fetch the various scrolls and data slates that they need. However, near the back of this labyrinth of lore, hey, I like it, you can see what appears to be the officio, which overhangs from the ceiling.
All right. So we spotted the guy, right?
Not the guy, but you take a wild guess that this is where he's supposed to be.
Fan out. Let's find the man.
I will deploy one of my rats to assist in this.
I will just go to a high place and start looking around.
Alrighty. As Morano climbs up, roll for me an awareness test, please. Nice. Well done. As you do, you can see through the tinted windows of the officio that overhangs this data vault that there is a monkey-shaped figure moving about within it.
My
I'll
God.
relay this to Rosalina. Do you want me to approach?
Are you concealed?
I can be.
Stay there. Get your weapon
Do you-
out.
Do you want me concealed?
Yes.
Understood.
Watch over me. And with that, I'm going to walk towards the person or the Munkai that she said.
Alrighty.
I'll
As-
add in my bonuses there, but whatever.
Oh. Yeah, you got wait, what do you you mean the plus 20 for the
The cloak, yeah.
cloak? Yeah.
And then, so that would technically be 4 degrees.
Yes. That is true. So, as actually, I totally forgot to roll if anyone spotted her disguise. No, that's not enough. Not enough. And not enough. I'm gonna have 3 awareness tests be enough for now.
Yeah, I mean, they were all pretty distracted. That's why I was like, well, it shouldn't be too hard.
Yeah, let's talk about the deceiver.
That will get us executed for heresy. No, nope, nope.
Nope, nope, nope. So, as Rosalina, Tarvok, and the rest move up towards the officio that overhangs, they see a spiral staircase made of cast iron that leads up to it.
I'll start moving up and I'll say, Tarvok with me, everyone else fan out.
Tarvok, funnily enough, the staircase does not seem to have been built with your bulk in mind.
Even if I was to fold up a bit,
Even if you were to fold up a bit, your bookcase is hampering you.
how fast can a power axe cut through? No.
Mm. You could, if you were really bold about it, try to use your harpoon gun if you had it.
I do have it.
Well,
I'm just
roll
gonna
for me.
wave you away like, Tarvok, if you can't make it, I'll just take Arbery with me. We don't need-
Tarvok,
We don't
Sorry.
need unnecessary destruction.
as you say that, Tarvok puts the demolition kit back in his bag.
Aw.
Tarvok will look to you and then to Aubrey and then back to you and nod to say, "Then I will remain here."
Well, Volric also walks along behind, but he seems to be keeping a good 6 meters between you and him.
I'm gonna look at Volric and say, no, stay down here. I need you to guard us.
Yes, but I can only guard you if I can see you.
I can't focus with you next to me.
That sounds like a whole bunch of your problem, but he seems to concede the point.
Okay, I'm gonna head up the stairs.
Indeed. As Rosalina and Aubrey head up, clanking in their power heels and otherwise, hold on, I need to reply to that.
He will begin playing Regicide with his servitor.
Oh my god.
think this is how you do it. No, crap. How do you get the...
Tried.
Is it
You gotta-
slash say?
Slash
Slash E, right. Ah, damn it.
for emotion. I know that's hard for you, but
Yeah, I can't do that. Well, in any case, as Aubrey and Rosalina head up the cast iron staircase, they find the door, which, funnily enough, has a handle on it and nothing else.
Aubrey, open the door.
Click.
And with that, I'm gonna have my weapon in my hand. And I'm
As you
going
enter.
to enter.
As you enter,
Oh, sorry to interrupt, but yeah, I would have pulled out the rifle after I.
yes, I assumed that. So, as Rosalina steps into the officio of the Curator of Data Vault 13B, she finds the walls stacked floor to ceiling with books and data slates. Not even on bookshelves, because they seem to have been buried as well. In the center of this mountain of vellum, you can see a desk half buried beneath volumes of scrolls, and a simple wooden chair sitting behind it. You see a Vox recorder and a steaming mug of half-drunk recaf on the table.
Do I see the man, though?
Currently, you do not. However, as soon as you have scanned the room and determined that this part of it is clear, you can hear coming from the back a flushing sound.
The room is... Never mind. He is here.
As soon after a few moments, you see a man fussing about with his black administratum robe. His face looks ancient and withered. His hair, almost got what little there is left, is silver gray, and doesn't seem to have been taken care of in decades. One of his eyes is milky white, as you can see a trilateral scar moving down it. However, he seems to stop dead in his track as he looks up to you and sees you.
Are you the curator here?
Hold on, I should know this. You're one of Hunt's agents.
And with that, I'm gonna draw my pistol and aim it at him. How do you know that name?
Well, since he told me.
He's here.
No, he's not.
Where is he?
I don't know, but he did leave a message for you.
Go ahead.
Hold on. He finishes tying the rope around his waist, and he starts messing around with the stacks of data slates that he's got around here. Oh, by the throne, I knew I put it some here. Is this it? No. Agricultural products from Cell. What is this? Mining products from Pali. No. Oh, census population from Juno. Completely worthless, out of date. Throws it away. Ah, here we go. Blows the dust away from a data slate. I believe this is for you. It is gene locked, so I believe it's only going to open in your presence.
And I'm gonna take it and look down at it. How do you know Hunt?
I used to work for his old master, then I worked a bit for him, and then, when I got too old for this crap, I was plunked here, where I could be more useful.
What do you know about him?
Him? Nothing. He doesn't tell me anything.
What do you know about his position?
Him? Well, if you're fishing for the Inquisition answer, then go ahead. I have been longer in the Inquisition than you have been alive, girl, so don't try and test me on these things.
I find that hard to believe.
Really? How old are you?
And I'm gonna look up and I'm going to say 87.
Ha! That's precious. He takes a seat back at his desk and takes a swig of his recaf. Make no mistake, I've been here and in the sector longer than you have been alive.
Very well. What did Master Hunt say to you before parting?
He told me that there was circumspect circumstances, his words, not mine, and he needed to take care of it. Something about this or that. To be honest, I stopped paying attention to him a long time ago. He is so vague about everything.
That does sound like him.
Indeed.
Gene locked. I'm gonna put my hand on the activation ruin to the letter itself.
As you do, a tiny prick. You feel a tiny prick as you can feel your thumb getting stabbed. Oh, forgot to warn you about that. Yeah, it's not the saliva-based one. Man, those things are much, much better. They don't stab you all the time.
Yes.
So, hold on. As you are busy, as the slate is busy working its gene magic, you see Albus, you see Tattersall rummaging around in his desk before he pulls out a scroll and says, Rosalina Lockwood, yes?
Yes.
Oh, yes, you're his new interrogator. This needs to be updated. He grabs a quill and scribbles over something before writing interrogator down on the paper. It says here that you have 4 other acolytes. I don't recognize one of them being of the sororitas, and he motions over to Aubrey.
She's a new acquisition.
I see. Might I take her name for posterity?
Of course. And I'm going to signal to her in hand signs to let her introduce herself.
Aubrey Brave Crossing. Adeptus Sororitas, Hospitaller, Order of the Shining Blade. And with a quick cursive handwriting, Tattersall takes down the newest information. Says here that you have 1 Larisian Serena, Baltivarius Tarvok, and Harold Blackbeard. I don't see any of these.
They're away. Harold is busying doing his work. And unfortunately, I am in the company of another's interrogator, though his rank is meaningless to me.
Oh, do you mind if I ask which one?
And with that, I'm going to give the information for Nubel's new character.
Yeah. Speaking of which, hi Noble. We're sorry. No need to apologize for being late.
Okay.
Do you?
I'm actually just going to go on Vox and just tell him to come up here.
Right. Noble, we are currently in Data Vault 13B, where Rosalina is talking to one Albus Tattersall about specific information regarding Hunt, and you have been summoned up into his officio.
Alrighty. So, and you said you were summoning Volric up to you?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Alright. Would comply and go up there.
This is the disgusting blank I was talking about.
Oh, hi Volric. Good to see you again. How's Stefan these days?
He's handling himself well from when I last saw him. How are you?
I'm fine myself. You know, good bowel movements and all that. Can't complain.
Wait, how do you know each other?
Oh, I've met him before. Oh, I'm sorry. You weren't aware that this is where, well, I used to be the arch savant for the most infamous man in the sector.
Go on.
I can't say.
Hmm.
He taps his head and says, Volitor implant. I'm afraid that if I were to say specific things, I would die.
Well, before I summoned him up here, I could have gotten that information from you.
Well, knowledge is power, and it must be guarded well.
Does Hunt trust you?
Me? You'll have to ask him yourself.
Hmm.
I do not claim to know what Inquisitor Hunt thinks, but I have worked with him long enough to know that I trust him, and, by extension, you, though you're not exactly good at gaining trust.
That's an understatement.
Yes, especially when you come in here armed with enough weapons to start a small civil war.
Consider it precaution. I've had my fair share of run-ins with, And with that, I'm gonna
Yes,
bang on my
yes.
leg so that he can hear the mechanics behind it. Actually,
Yes,
I'm just
yes.
gonna knock on my knee.
Oh, go ahead. He says, Yes, yes. I've had enough paranoid acolytes running me down for the years, wanting to know this and that information about the end of this world and that. Tell you what, I've seen enough ends of worlds to last a lifetime.
Morna is gonna say over the vox.
You're
Wouldn't that
back.
only be one?
Go ahead and repeat that.
Wouldn't that only be one?
You would think so, but the million worlds of the Imperium are constantly at war. The destruction of one world, the findings of another.
I see. It makes me consider some things.
Just be grateful that your worlds move.
I'm also glad that we put more value on them.
And with that, I'm gonna sigh and just say, yeah. Yeah. And I'm gonna look towards Volric and I'm just gonna say, how do you know this man?
Do I know him? A couple of years back, our Inquisitors tangled and such and such. We worked together on occasion.
Fair enough. There's a lot about you I don't know.
Yes, and personally, until it's needed, it shall stay that way.
Tarvok, your thoughts on this situation? Alright. Good thoughts. Good thoughts. Damn it, is John not here too?
I'm here too. Sorry, it's just being very laggy. There's a storm going through.
Ah, fair enough. Fair enough.
Could you repeat that last part?
I was like, what are your thoughts on this situation?
Tarvok will say, I'm not a big fan of altercations that bypass our conventional ideals. The fact that this is a unsanctioned disappearance is a cause for concern.
And I'm just going to keep looking towards the letter the data slate before I open it. I'm just going to wipe my blood from my thumb just a little bit. Damn them. And we're stuck waiting on Victor.
Alright. Well, this planet's very interesting to start with.
Yeah, a bunch of nerds and no tech priests.
Well, I mean, he's like, oh, there was that one. Yeah, there was the one chick Then there was that one guy I thought was a tech priest, but actually wasn't. Then there was that one guy and then the last one we saw was that guy all the way back in the graveyard on Tower. Oh, but what about the tech? What about the Ironmongers? Those are tech gangers. Different.
Are you detracting from the tech priest on Tower's extremely high impact on the plot? Are you implying that we still don't remember him to this day, and that he did not directly affect how all of the sequences of events following his introduction have gone?
Oh, and then there was that one tech priest we found in the desert.
Who works
The one
for
that we
us
get.
now.
Both of them were probably the most impactful characters in the story, even more so than Rosalina.
Well, I mean, the only thing I was still worried for the longest time that tech priest from the desert was going to take that repressor and put it in a pawn shop.
Oh, you said repressor. I thought you said repulsor, and I was like, what?
Yeah, we got a repulsor, didn't you know? But no.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm very.
Black Star too.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm very discombobulated. Yeah.
But look, all I'm saying is like, and it's like the one time we get to interact with the tech priest, he wasn't even there for that session.
Ha! Well, I'll be right back. You guys keep talking about junk and stuff.
I'm just saying, like for the fact that we're the second
I'm
biggest,
just
like
saying that the truth will set you free and that you should embrace chaos.
I don't know, are there tech priests in chaos?
Oh, they're better than tech priests. You don't have to maintain any of those codes about tech heresy or any of that nonsense. You can do what you like.
But no, it's like it's ghetto as hell because the GM's main army, like his army, is Mechanicus.
I mean, as a null, I would gladly hug chaos in a spine-breaking embrace.
As a null, you make me lose my lunch every time I think about you.
Good.
I'm going to graft that limiter to your neck.
But chaos loves you. They love the taste of you.
Okay, that's close. That's better.
I'm just saying.
We're also honest.
There's literally a god of lies and deceit.
Is
Are you calling me a liar?
I ain't calling you a truther.
Well played, sir.
That's what I come back to. I am so glad I came back to that. A Drake and Josh reference. Oh, that's good.
I have returned. What did I miss?
About damn we were just talking about your amazing GMing and how good your representation of the factions in 40K.
I feel like I'm being made fun of.
You're not. Don't worry. Anyway, I'm going to open up the letter now.
As you do, you see this.
Okay. Go ahead and read it.
Me? I'm eating dinner.
Yeah, go ahead and read it. It sounds better in your voice because you can read it as Hunt.
Hold on. To Interrogator Rosalina Lockwood, I must apologize for my absence. I intended to meet and brief you in person, but other circumstances conspired against me, and I must make do with this dead drop. If anything said in this data slate requires further explanation, don't hesitate to ask Tattersall. Try to keep your question as specific as you can. He tends to ramble. The time has come to formally induct you into the ranks of the Holy Orders of the God Emperor's Inquisition. As protocol dictates, you must either be sponsored by an Inquisitor Lord or 3 Inquisitors. Since I know of no Inquisitor Lord in Ascalon, we must instead gather up 3 members of our Ghost organization. My path will take me to one Inquisitor Gustav Grimm of the Ordo Malleus. Like so many of his fellow demon hunters, he is quite the serious individual, to put it diplomatically, and it will require my persuasion to bring him on board. You, on the other hand, I will dispatch to find Inquisitor Dainisia Farnov of the Ordo Xenos. She might prove harder to find than I anticipate, since she has gone silent for over 2 weeks since our last astropathic communique. Her last known location was her manor on the imperial world of Aventine in the Thule subsector. Find Farnov, bring her to Jovan, and we will officiate you into the orders. The Emperor protects, Inquisitor Severus Hunt, Ordo Hereticus. Thought for the day. Success is commemorated, failure merely remembered.
Oh,
And I'm gonna wait. What was the name? What was the Inquisitor name on that?
There were 3 names given.
The Otto Malleus one.
Gustav Grimm.
I'm gonna repeat that name out loud and just say, "Who is this man?"
He's even older than I, if you can believe it. Tattersall pipes up. Wait a minute, why is... Oh, whoops, I forgot to put my picture back. There we go.
I'm also looking at Volrak when I say that because I know who order he is.
Would Volric know him?
Nubel, is that your Inquisitor?
No, that's not him.
Yeah, no. And you asked that in...
In character, you wouldn't know.
Well, no, she asked if that's my Inquisitor. Did you ask that in character?
Yeah,
Right,
I asked
my
that
bad.
in character.
No, my Inquisitor is Stefan Zinske. Not this Grimm. The name doesn't really ring a bell.
You, Tattersall, who is this man?
Well, as far as I know, he's been around here since, well, I can't say. And he is a Puritan of the mono-dominant faction, though I don't know if that means anything to you.
Puritan. Interesting. Very well. And what of Farnoth?
Her, I must say, I don't know much about, though she has been less charitably described as a radical.
Radical. Can you explain the differences between a Puritan and a radical?
Well, he sits down and takes another chug of his recaf and says, "It is difficult to explain, though it mostly depends on one's perspective. For instance, if you are one of the most hardline Puritans, being, say, a psyker is a form of radicalism. But if you, say, a psyker looks upon a man who uses the great enemy to further his own goals, then he would be the foulest radical. It's, from what I've been able to gather, it's using the enemy's methods and weapons against him is what makes you radical."
What of using tools of our enemies?
That would make you fall into the radical component.
And I'm assuming radical Autoxenos would use Xenos themselves, or would that still remain pure?
You see Tattersall scratch his poorly kept beard. Actually, it's more of a stubble, and says, "Yes, that indeed would be considered foul heresy, and I, in fact, cannot name you a few Inquisitor that would, well, they would incinerate you on the spot if they saw it."
Do the Inquisitors fight often? I assumed so.
Yes, I hope that is enough of an answer.
Yes.
It, as you perhaps have been able to tell, the answer to the question is such a laughable one that it barely is worth asking.
And what of the Xenos?
The Xenos?
Autoxenos. What can you tell me about them?
They're alien hunters. He stops himself before before he wanders into his Volator implant minefield again. Founded back in M31, late M31, if I'm not mistaken. They are they were organized to hunt to hunt the enemy without. The Chamber Militant is the Deathwatch chapter of Space Marines.
They use Space Marines.
They do. Though they're not the only ones.
And what do you mean by that?
Now that, I can't say.
What would a radical Ordoxenos do? Would they use the alien as a tool against the alien?
Yes, that is the philosophical definition of radicalism.
Interesting.
I hope you're not getting any heretical ideas.
No, not at all. Just something I've observed.
Oh, and where would you happen to have observed these?
Rogue traders tend to keep Xenos aboard their ships.
Ah, yes. The imperial sanctioning of Xenos for the rogue trader dynasties is a long-held, if perilous, position. They are mostly used on the outskirts of the Imperium in wilderness space, where the Lux Imperialis doesn't hold quite as tight a grip. They are on much slipper ground, much more slippery ground when inside Imperial borders, as well. The Inquisition might want to look into them.
How would one look into that? How would one look into the holdings of a sanctioned Xenos as an Inquisitor? I assume the same way that we look into any other source of heresy, is that correct?
I feel that this question is a bit too specific. Is there anything you wish to tell me?
My lord did say be specific with you.
Yes, I suppose so. He grumbles something about Hunt being being a conniving mastermind. Well, he doesn't put it in. He doesn't say it quite so flatteringly or insultingly. He mutters it into the cuff of his robe. Yes. Well, are you a rogue? Are you a rogue trader?
No, but I use one.
Then you're going to have to talk to him.
My question wasn't directed about that. It was directed about how I should go about the investigation of said Xenos.
Oh, that is an entirely different matter. If you're investigating a specific Xenos, I would recommend the Excruciator kit.
You suggest torture, not conventional means?
For Xenos? Yes.
Isn't torture conventional means for the Inquisition?
Sort of.
Yes.
Very well. I will leave you.
Was there anything else you needed?
Not that I can think of at this moment.
Do you want me to help you with that out of character?
Yes.
Also, I am trying to eat, so it's muffling my voice a bit.
So.
How are you going to get to Aventine?
Oh, yeah. And what do you know of Aventine?
Aventine, a civilized world in the Thule subsector. It is an unassuming world held by one Lord Sarvak as its planetary governor. It is a quiet world, so to speak. In as much as not much happens there. There was this Dark Eldar raid that happened some 200 years ago, but Since then, nothing might as well have happened.
They should all be executed.
That we can agree on.
And what information do you have on my acolytes?
Let's see. Age, height, weight, former occupation, blood type. Oh, that's a new one. And that's about it.
And all of them are listed there. Can you go over the list once more?
Let's see. I have some former ones. They are noted as recalled. Let's see.
Those
We
two aren't
have-
important.
He takes his autoquill and eek, screeches over both of them. Hold on, eating. I should put this away.
Gosh, Victor, trying to like sustain yourself over there, trying to not starve to death.
Yeah. Do what I do and forget to eat for a day.
No, I don't want to do that. I just ran a half a marathon. I need to eat or I get a massive headache.
Fair.
So he pulls up a list and says, let's see. You have, it says here, on loan one Anders. Be right back, my bad.
Anders was recalled as well, wasn't he?
Yes, he was.
I don't remember much about him. Remember massive headaches.
Well, now you have me for that.
For
And
now.
I'm just gonna look at you and just be like, yes. I can still feel you on the backside of my mind.
Oh, now.
High five.
I'll have Morano chip up and say, it is interesting. People like you do not occur with mine.
That's not
And
good.
of course I say over the yes it is. Where's the blank Eldar? Show me the blank Eldar.
Solitaires?
Harlequins. Oh, yeah.
No, those are Harlequins. They're not Eldar. They're not Eldar.
They're not Asterion.
They can come from any path, I should say.
I think Harlequins only come from Harlequins, but I could be wrong about that. But let's not get into that debate.
Yeah,
No.
that's not
We-
what we're debating.
You can hear it downstairs.
Oh God, they're infecting
no.
us.
No. I'm not up on my Harlequin lore, but I'm pretty sure that any Eldar can
Sounds like
become a
a heresy
Harlequin.
to me.
Fair enough. Okay,
Point
where
is-
was I?
The point is, they have to make an individual pact with the deceiver to get it, whereas humans, anyway. Before I get us all convicted of heresy.
Joke's on you, I'm way down that hole already.
Anyway,
Can't get convicted of heresy if you already committed all of it. Smart.
I'm just gonna look back at him and just be like, the other acolytes.
Let's see. We have a Larisian Serena, Harold Blackbeard, Ama, no last name given. Let's see. Moving down. We have actually. Am I missing anyone?
Oh, I mean, Victor, screw
No.
you.
No, you're not.
Hold on. Oh, my bad. I'm so like
Thalia Polonia,
Yes,
Tarvok.
Thalia
you,
Polonia. I thought you said former acolytes.
No, I said list of acolytes.
Oh, list of acolytes. You've had a lot.
Alright.
All right.
And I'm gonna ask him about, the one's homeworld was Forelise. What can you tell me about that? That is in the official records.
Dr. Thalia Polonia, from Medicae Golem with top marks, blood type AB minus. There's not much here. It seems Hunt seems to keep things close to his chest when he recruits.
Hmm. And what can you tell me about the planet of Provoska, my homeworld? What is its status?
Provoska. Hold on. He starts fiddling about in the mountains of data slates that he has. Here we go. As he coughs away some of the dust and says, let's see, Provoska, do you mean the sector or the planet?
The planet itself. The one at the heart of the system.
Well, this is confusing. I have a Provoska for a sector, a system, and a planet. Are you sure this is correct?
Yes, the system itself is called the system is called Provoska, named after its hub planet. Think of it like Cadia.
Is it a... this needs updating. I'll have to put some adepts on it, but enough of that. Currently, its latest report says that... Actually, Alexis, you can pretty much decide. I am unaware of the Provoskan timeline.
Okay, it just had a tyrannic invasion. Gene Seal occult invasion. Thousands dead, and the system is currently under locks by inquisitorial what is it? What is the word for this? Sanction.
Quarantine?
Yeah, it's under quarantine currently. Planetary population has been diminished by at least half, and the high families aboard the planet have all been executed.
As he looks, as he scrolls down his data slate, you see his face. You see his frown actually turn a bit. It actually goes more into a neutral expression as he presses his lips together and says, "I am so sorry. It seems that there has been some kind of Xenos invasion. I'm sparse on the details, but the Inquisition has declared quarantine on the planet of Provoska."
Following the uprising, I assume.
Wait, hold on. Out of character. How would Rosalina know about this?
She took in the survivors.
Wait, that's been like years ago.
You think Rosalina forgot?
No, like, is this a new event?
No, this is what happened.
Wait, so she's asking for info that she already knows.
She's asking for something else too, but I'll get to it.
There's nothing else that he has.
I'm just gonna look at him and say, any survivors that have made it off-world? Ones that come after this date? And she's gonna give the date of the last of the Lockwoods, which is Larician. No, not Larician. Wait, is it Larician? Curon.
And as he thumbs through the summarized reports from the Provoskan's quarantine, I'm sorry. It seems that whatever has followed here has been redacted so heavily that not even I have access to it.
And with that, Rosalina is gonna give a slight frown. Very well. Thank you.
Rosalina,
Yes?
could you ask him for status on Research Station Thaddeus?
Research Station Thaddeus, what do you know?
Hold on. Knight, what do you want to have happened?
I don't know. Just I was seeing what you could come up with.
Ha.
Where is it located? In or out of sector?
It's in the sector.
Research Station Thaddeus. Edge of Thule subsector. It says here that it is currently undergoing reconstruction.
And
What is the status of the Archmagos Zamarin Zimmerman?
And I'm gonna relay that to Dude Guy McScruffface.
That's the one who tried to kill my daughter and me.
When you say scruff face, do you mean
Data Vault Dude Guy.
right? He's not dude guy. He's not dude guy material, at least.
There you go. That's the name of the
Right.
Magos.
Yeah, that washed up comedian that plays what's her name from Wreck-It Ralph.
There you go.
Let me see. Scrolling. Oh, ceased.
Upon hearing that, he will pull out his data slate and scroll all the way up to the top of it and cross a name.
He uses a permanent marker on top of the data slate.
I mean, this is a big moment for him, but yes.
Yes.
Perfect.
All right. Does anyone else have final question? Or any more question? Because this guy's pretty much he's sitting on a mountain of fluff.
And I'm just gonna look at him one more time before I start to head out. I'm just gonna say, do you know the name of the Inquisitor that locked up the planet?
Now I need to ask you again. Was it far off?
It was.
He scrolls back up to Rosalina's profile and finding the subfolders, and he looks at it and says, "I'd rather not say."
It was Hunt, wasn't it?
I will leave that to his discretion.
And with that, she's gonna bow her head and just say, that is all that I need from you.
As you turn around to leave, Tattersall lifts up a hand absentmindedly and waves to Volric and says, "It was good seeing you again, Volric. Don't be a stranger."
Older not to be. And before he turns to leave, he's just gonna stop and he's gonna kind of just run a hand over his beard. Have you heard anything? Has any information on Marshal Eidengard passed your campers?
"Yes, there has," Tattersall replies without even consulting a scroll or data slate. "They were sent through the I Can't Say towards the Jericho Reach, where they now wage war against the great enemy."
God protect him and may he bless his blade. You don't make the
Indeed.
sound here. Pull
Yeah.
up, bounce it.
I'm sure he will find plenty of foes to slay and whet his blade, and I'm sure he will make the Emperor proud.
As they all should.
Emperor
Yeah,
protect you, Ulrich.
And you. Then he'll turn and leave as well.
As you reunite with Tarvok down at the bottom of the staircase, even though he was with you in spirit all along, you now have your destination.
Our master isn't here, and he wishes for us to search elsewhere. But this would pull us...
I'm sorry.
This would pull us further away from the event that's happening here. I don't like this.
And Tarwark will actually snub out his cigar on his hand and say, "And so the time has finally come, Interrogator Lockwood."
Quick question. Does Tarvok want to set up a hololith of the Ascalon sector so that you can console the map?
I could. He
Do
does.
we have transport?
That's the question, though. So, just to give you an idea, you need to go there. Actually, I can do it better because I learned this trick. Wait, no. it's like there. Haha, I did it.
Haha.
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 So we're all walking out and towards the Corvus.
Indeed.
Where are we?
Oh, my bad. You. Let me put you back here.
No, I mean, like, where are we from the celestial? Like, from where is this planet in correlation to the planet we're looking?
Oh, my bad.
Very far.
It's down here.
As we can't see that. Wait for it. Yep.
Other side of the sector.
Lord, we're gonna need some trail mix for this.
No, we're gonna need our friend for this.
And Tarvok will look over to you and say, "Does this mean we are heading to Terminus Prime?"
For now, yes. We have to get the deal back with... We have to get our ship back.
There's a slight issue with that. You gave Heresy orders to leave.
We'll have
Well,
to
we're set.
commandeer a ship or buy one here. A small
Can the-
transit should get us right across.
How far can the Corvus Black, like, this is just me not knowing aeronautics in this, how far can a Corvus Blackstar get us? Like,
Would not even be able to transport us from the planet to its moon. It would run out of fuel before it made it. Actually, it might make it to the moon, but it would not make it to another planet.
It doesn't have warp capability.
no,
It also doesn't have the fuel supply to even be a functional inter-system transport.
So yeah, we will have to commandeer or purchase a ship. Tarvok will begin, like, doing the commerce calculations of his assets to see how much he can spend.
Indeed. Does anyone wish to make an inquiry test to try and figure out what's the quickest way to get anywhere?
I'll give it a shot.
Rosalina with that inquiry.
Morna's gonna just speak up and say, I would suggest something small and cheap.
Nibbles an interrogator has -6 inquiry.
Hey,
Literally in the name.
he sees bad guys, he punches bad guys.
So me and Rosalina did the best.
Yeah. So, I believe that you actually equal each other, and by doing so,
Because she's got higher fellowship.
yes.
I don't even have a tick in it.
I have a tick in it, but my fellowship is 26.
Yeah, that's the issue. So, Rosalina is able to ask around, although she does have to settle some bickerings to do it. And she is able to find that travel to and from Jovan is, well, the ships that come to Jovan are usually cargo haulers and Chartist captain ships. However, she is not able to find. So what's the intent here? Are you?
I'm
going
looking
to try
for
and
a
buy
simple.
ship?
I'm looking for a simple cargo ship heading towards Jovan.
You're on Jovan.
Oh, heading towards where Aristide is. Terminus Prime.
Right. All right. Do you mind, because I don't actually have planned beyond this phase, if we stop right here?
I want to do one thing with Marno really quickly before we stop. I'm assuming we find a cargo hauler going that way.
Yes, but things might change slightly because I have some plans regarding the in-between sessions, so that might change some decisions.
Okay, well, I am going to seclude myself momentarily with Marno. And I'm just gonna look at her and just say, I need guidance.
Oh, in what regard?
It's my family.
Hmm.
I assumed they all died on my home planet. But now knowing that there's a quarantine, I don't know.
I do believe that was a weird accent and way to say it. Excuse me. I do believe that you value duty over personal matters in your line of work. Am I mistaken?
And I'm gonna look towards Riza and just say, I do my duty and I do it well, but in the end, family is family.
Hmm. Would you like to know what I would do if my home was threatened?
Yes.
I would immediately return. I would not hesitate.
Unfortunately, I cannot.
No, it seems that you have obligations preventing you.
Would you be
I don't. Oh, go ahead.
Would you be willing to come with me after all of this is said and done?
Well, we would have to discuss it with Heresy, but it would give me a continued position to survey. I just worry, Rosalina. How dangerous would it be for me to go with you?
Very.
And not just from the dangers you face either, from the very terrain we have to tread. Your people and my people do not get along.
For now, yes. But I know no one greater that can guard me.
I would like to, but realistically, I worry about what would have to go into setting up such an arrangement.
Well, you're uncertain. That gives me some comfort. Now let's go get Aristide.
Yes. And then maybe he can come up with a way to make this a reality.
And with that, I think we are done with the session.
Indeed.
All right, I want to thank everybody for joining us for this episode of Queen's Court. We are setting up the future of this series itself, as well as having some quick fun with this, and messing with Victor's other characters. If you enjoyed this episode, please be sure to check out everything. Subscribe to the channel, watch all the other episodes. As always, I'm Norn Queen Alexis. I love you guys. Bye.